What's happening there, Liverpool fans? Back again with another video to talk about the final pre-season game in America, where we ended the American tour with a 2-2 draw against Sporting Lisbon. Now, I'm not happy, as I said before, and I've been proven right again because the squad that we have at the moment, without the main players in it, the likes of Mane, Salah, Firmino, Alisson in goal, and of course, players like Keita and Shaqiri to come off the bench or to play in the first 11, we look like a very average team because the amount of chances that we've conceded to teams, the amount of goals that we've conceded in these 3 games, 7 goals, man. 7 goals in 3 games against Dortmund, Sevilla, and now Sporting Lisbon. They're not even the top teams in European football. I dread to think if we had to play the likes of Juventus or Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, Barcelona, these kind of teams, what would have happened in the pre-season? We would have got absolutely annihilated. We would have got, taken to the cleaners and probably conceded 4 or 5 in each of the games. So it's absolutely ridiculous. There are still people in our fan base that believe in players like Lallana and the goalkeeper Mignolet to actually play good, to perform to a good level. Are you people mad? Have you lost your minds? How many times do we have to say that Mignolet is not good enough for even a mid-table team, let alone for Liverpool Football Club? And he's still being put into the bloody goal to keep goal in a friendly match, albeit a friendly match, but still. I don't want to see this man anywhere near the team, man. And Klopp is he's lost his mind, he really has. Everybody is telling him, most of the fans in the Liverpool fan base are telling him, the articles, the newspapers, everyone is saying that you need strength in depth. You need 2 or 3 more players to add to this squad to become, the best team in the league, to become the best in Europe again. And he's coming out with all these interviews and all these, just talking to people saying that we don't need players. Are you blind, Klopp? Please. All that hard work you've done to win the European Cup is going to go down the drain, man. I don't want to be negative before the season's even begun, but you can see the problems arising from now. So what do you need to do? You need to take action. You need to do something. You need to buy players. And they've got the bloody money, FSG, man. They've got the bloody money, but they don't want to spend that money, Don't be telling us rubbish that you don't have money. I think Klopp came out and said in an interview that we're not able to spend the money that we spent last season. Why not? You've just won the European Cup. All the money that you got from winning the Champions League, plus all the sponsorship money, all the, sales money, merchandise sales and everything else, TV rights deals and everything, Liverpool should have roughly £200 million, £250 million to spend. And we don't see any of that money put back into the team, do we? So there's something wrong with this club, man. There is something fundamentally wrong with Liverpool Football Club. If there is no money to spend after a year in which you've just won the European Cup, you've won the Champions League, all that prize money that you get from getting to the final and then winning the tournament, the trophy, and you're telling us that you don't have money. I think that he's speaking on behalf of FSG because they've put him up to this, really. I can't see any other way of explaining this. They've put him up to, go on television and explain to the fans and tell them what's going on, so that we don't look like muppets. We're not guilty of the team being in this situation at the moment. But it's not going to wash with the fans, man. I'm telling you. If we start the season badly, which there is a big possibility, because some of our main players will not be able to start the season. They're tired. They've just come back from tournaments in Africa, in Latin America. And we're relying on these players. They haven't even had a proper rest. A couple of weeks is not enough to recuperate. You need a month, at least a month, after a hard season to get ready for the new season, the upcoming season. But these players won't even have a proper rest. And then they have to go back into another long, hard season again. Next year, we'll have so many competitions to play, so many games to play. And yet our owners seem to think that we don't need any players, any new players, along with the manager, which is absolutely ridiculous. How can you even say that, man? A manager, a knowledgeable manager, a manager that has had so much experience in the game of football, who knows that a squad is valuable. You need backup in your team, in your squad. And you're coming out and you're telling the Liverpool fan base that we don't need new players. So who are you going to put into the team then? You're going to put, what do you call it, Harry Wilson, and, all these other players, Divock Origi, Ryan Brewster, Ryan Kent. Are we going to rely on these players now to play football? Come on, man. You're taking the piss. This is a friendly match. I don't want to sound like I'm going over the top for a friendly match, but the last 3 games that we've played, we've conceded 7 goals. And the fact that we still, in this match, we had our main back line of Robertson, Matip, Van Dijk, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. And we still conceded these goals. Why? The first goal was a bloody clanger from Mignolet again. A long-range shot that he's supposed to hold on to. He doesn't even have the capability to hold on to a ball, man. It hits his arms and it goes into the back of the net. He done it so many times before, Mignolet, man. And you're still relying on this standard of goalkeeper to go into goal for Liverpool. Even in the cup games, if you put him in, he will concede goals to weak teams, to championship teams, to teams from Division League 1, League 2. He will concede goals. Trust me. We know what Mignolet is. We've seen him over the years, man, as a goalkeeper. He should have been gone from Liverpool 2 years ago, along with Karius. Karius is out on loan, thankfully. I'm praying to God. I'm happy that he's out on loan. Can you believe that? I'm happy that he's not even in the squad, Karius. Because if he had been in goal, it would have been even more. Imagine the banter. Imagine the way that they would, the media would talk about Karius if he conceded that goal. He wouldn't have any confidence to come out onto the pitch again in England, let alone to keep goal. Because the man is just like an accident. He's like a ticking time bomb. At any time, he's going to make a mistake. And we could see the goal. We lose the game. We draw the game. But for the love of God, I mean, honestly, what they're doing at Liverpool this year, I really don't understand. A team that is supposed to have ambition. A team that has just won the European Cup for a 6th time in our history, Liverpool Football Club. And instead of moving on, instead of becoming better, building a great team, a great squad, we're going backwards, man. Trusting the kids again, the youngsters, and the bit part players in the squad who don't perform to the highest level, can't perform to the highest level. So why are they being put into the team, Klopp, man? And then he sits there on the sidelines and he's looking all confused and he's shaking his head and everything. What do you expect, Jurgen, man, from these players? If you don't, as the manager, if you haven't seen what they're like in 3 or 4 years, then that means that you don't know what you're doing in the job, man. Either that or you're being forced. You're being forced by the ownership to play these players. You're being told that they need to be put into the team because we're not going to buy you any players, any new players. If that's the case, then I don't want it anymore, man. I don't want it. I'm not going over the top. This is a pre-season tour in America. And that's another thing. Those bloody pitches that they played on, man. We're playing at bloody baseball grounds. There's so many stadiums in America, so many football pitches, and they're playing the matches on some fucking, baseball pitches. They don't even play football at these grounds, man. What are we doing playing football at these places? You spend all that money to go to America to play what? On fucking, baseball pitches, small pitches that you can't even, you can't even play proper football on these places, man. Look at the stadiums. Look at the way that the stadium is. It's so obvious that it's not a football stadium, man. Why are we playing at these venues? There's so many places that you can play in America, in the United States of America. And look at the places that Liverpool playing. And they call it, it's been a commercial success and we've made so many fans. We've met so many good people. The LFC TV was saying yesterday with that Muppet, what's his name? Hunter, is it? Steve Hunter, or whatever his name is, along with Jason McAteer, who will say anything just to keep on side with the ownership. He'll say anything, man. He doesn't even have his own thoughts. his own views on the game, man. You're taking the piss out of Liverpool fans. What has the success been? Tell me. What have we done in America that has been so successful, apart from travel a couple of cities? What have we done? The performances have been terrible, man. The Dortmund game, we were average. We didn't play well. We lost the game 3-2. Sevilla game, again, we didn't play well. It took us so long to get into the game. Then we got an equaliser. Then we lost again in the second half. And then yesterday, against Sporting Lisbon, we conceded after 4 minutes. Without even getting into the game. The game had only just started. And Mignolet is not even ready at the start of the game, man. To catch the ball. He's asleep. As a goalkeeper, you need to anticipate. You need to know that they could take a long-range shot. Midfielders, especially Fernandes. If you'd actually watched some videos of Fernandes, what he'd done last year in the Portuguese league in Europe, then you would have seen that the man is capable of scoring from anywhere on the pitch. And yet we're asleep. We don't know. Mignolet doesn't do his job properly, man, as a goalkeeper. He doesn't deserve to be in Liverpool anymore, for God's sake. And you're going to be trusting this man in goal in the cup matches for Liverpool. Well, good luck, because we're going to be conceding goals all over the place again. I'm telling you. Alisson is not a machine. He can't play in all the games. He's a very good goalkeeper, an outstanding goalkeeper, Alisson. But, you know, he's going to need to be rested in certain games, along with the others. You know, along with the defence. And who's going to come, you know, replace them in the defence? Let's say, for instance, Van Dijk is not playing, God forbid, or Matip or Gomez. Who are we going to replace them with? Sepp van den Berg and Kiana Hoover, 2 youngsters. Are you mad, Liverpool, man? 17, 18-year-olds. Is this what we can do now, our squad? Is this how far we've fallen now? You know? All they need to do is buy 3 or 4 players in certain positions on the pitch, in defence, in midfield, and up front. We need a clinical goal scorer. Look, Origi scored 2 goals, but they were tap-ins. He didn't actually have to work for those goals, did he? He was in the right place at the right time, but that's all part of being a goal scorer. But doesn't mean that he's a very good player, Origi. He was just in the right place at the right time. It was coincidence more than anything, and he put the chances away. And you see some of our idiot fans on the internet boasting, oh, look at Origi, the hero of Madrid, scoring goals again. He's up there. He's a great striker. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. And when it comes to the Premier League, he won't do nothing. He won't be able to contribute to any game, Origi. You wait and see. Put him in against one of the big teams in the Premier League and see what he can do. Is he going to score? No, he won't. Is he able to do what Salah does, what Mane does, Firmino does, on a regular basis? No, he can't, can he? Ryan Brewster is a 17, 18-year-old. He can't do it as well. You're going to risk putting him into the first team to play in the Premier League or the Champions League. Come on, man. This is a recipe for disaster. What Liverpool are doing in pre-season, we're just setting ourselves up to fall down again. We're going to go backwards, man, next year. It's so obvious to see. We can't be that blind as a fan base, as a club anymore, man. Just buy some players. All you have to do is buy 2 or 3 players. And then Liverpool will start to, you know, be successful in everything. And you're relying on these bloody youngsters again to put into the team. Come on. If this is what Klopp's going to do, then next year he should go. I'm saying it from, you know, from my heart now, honestly. He won the European Cup, but even in the final we didn't play well, you know, against Tottenham. We have to admit. We won the game 2-0, but we didn't play good football in that because he still relies on that midfield. That shit midfield of Henderson, Wijnaldum and Milner. We saw yesterday, man. They're giving the ball away all the time. They're not even able to make one telling pass. One assist. Oxlade-Chamberlain was the one who made the assist for Wijnaldum, the second goal. Where was the others? Where was Henderson, Wijnaldum and Milner? Did they actually contribute anything to the game? You're going to say it's a friendly match. So what? It's a friendly match. What about the other teams? They're playing friendly matches. Why are they performing to the good level then? Because they have quality players, that's why. We don't have that in midfield, Liverpool. And you're going to be relying on these players again next year. Well, good luck to you, man. Good luck to you, because we're going to be in big trouble, Liverpool. I'm telling you. If we don't add depth to that midfield, if we don't add a few players that can actually get on the ball, can play the killer passes, can score from free kicks, set pieces, or can, just get the ball and drive at the defence, the opposition defence, then it's going to be very tough, because Mane, Salah and Firmino may be tired at the beginning of the season. It might take them 2 or 3 games to actually get up to their level again, their standard. And by that time, City could already be ahead. They could already be 5 points ahead, 6 points ahead of Liverpool. And then it's finished. The season will be over. You won't be able to catch them again. I'm telling you, we saw it last year, man. Despite us winning all those games in a row, we weren't able to catch them, were we? We finished 1 point behind them because they were so consistent. We were so consistent. But they had an unbelievable run. Something like 14 games, 15 games they won in a row at the end of the season, because of their squad, because of the players that they have in their team. They're able to do that, man. That's the level that they're at. And Liverpool are just sitting still, standing still and waiting for the inevitable fall. And then what's Klopp going to say again in his excuses, his press conferences? Oh, but we tried to integrate the youngsters and they weren't up to the required level, or we had players tired from the summer and they had to come back and they weren't at the same on form to perform in the first games, and this and that. All excuses, man. You've had 3 months to buy players. Since the 1st of June, you've had time to go out there and to acquire players in the market. There are many players there. You don't need to pay the top money for the top players. There are still players that you can bring in, cover for your other midfielders, your other players up front. But you don't do it, man. What was the point in John Henry coming out and saying that we're going to spend money to win the league? It's just PR, man. They're all, they're liars. They are. I don't want to call them liars, but they're liars, man. They're playing tricks with the fans, these owners, man. They're taking the piss out of Liverpool fans because they haven't done anything. Who have they signed? Van den Berg, a bloody youngster, 17-year-old. He only costs about £1.5 million. He's not going to be in the first team, is he? What use is he to Liverpool now, Van den Berg? He'll probably play in 3 years' time if he's still at the club. By that time, God knows what's going to happen. Klopp won't even be here by that time. He'll probably move on from Liverpool. If he's not careful, Klopp, I'm saying it now, if he's not careful, he will be out of the job next May. Because Liverpool, from winning the European Cup and finishing second in the league, only a point behind City, we could drop out of the top 4. It's a real possibility. Don't even laugh, Liverpool fans. You need to be serious, As the fan base of Liverpool Football Club, we've seen this many times. I'm not being pessimistic at the start of the season, negative. I'm speaking from experience. What's happened in the past with Liverpool? They have 1 good season or 2 good seasons, and then because they don't do anything in the summer, they don't add to the team, they go backwards, man. All the other clubs in the top 6 have become better. Even Arsenal, They've just brought in that Ceballos, the Spanish midfielder, and they've brought in another defender, and they're trying to get Zaha. Man United have bought players, they may get Harry Maguire, or they may get that Serbian midfielder, Milinkovic-Savic, or even Fernandes. I think they're still in for Fernandes. So imagine if they can get those 2 players before the deadline, summer transfer deadline, they're going to become very strong, Man United. And what are Liverpool going to do? We're just going to rely on Henderson again. Henderson, Wijnaldum and Milner. The great midfield of, pensioners, old players. They're not even good enough to play in the Premier League anymore, man. A player that doesn't add anything to the midfield area should not be in the midfield. Midfield is all about creativity. It's about opening up defences. It's about putting the opposition in trouble, causing them trouble. And then they will leave spaces. Then they will. You can make the killer passes. You can take great free kicks, corners, and we can score goals from it. Or defensively, look at Fabinho. Fabinho's a great player, but Fabinho seemed to be on his own yesterday, man. He's cutting out all the mistakes of the others. He's trying to clear up. You know, the mistakes of Wijnaldum, Milner and Henderson. You can't do that in the Premier League. This is bloody Sporting Lisbon. Imagine when you come up against the quality players in the Champions League again, or the Premier League, and you make these mistakes. Do you think that you're going to get away with it in the Premier League? No, you won't. Trust me, you won't get away with it. And we're going to concede goals again. This club, man, honestly, I mean, it's like a fucking contradiction, Liverpool Football Club, man. What is the matter with us as a club anymore? Why don't we actually, add players? Why do we actually stand still? Why do we have these owners in charge if they're not willing to pay money, man? Why can't they sell the club and we get proper owners in who are actually willing to buy good players, world class players? This manager as well, Klopp, it must be his philosophy that he just buys young players and he tries to develop them. But that's not going to bring you success in the Premier League, Jurgen Klopp. You know, until now you've done well, you've done pretty well, but from now on you're going to go backwards. There were signs of this last season. We were winning games, but we weren't playing well in certain games. And it was all down to the midfield area. The entire media, the entire articles, the social media, everything was talking about the midfield area and its weakness, its lack of creativity, its lack of guile. But it's like they just close their ears. They're not bothered, Klopp and the owners. They don't listen to what's going on. They don't see what's happening on the pitch. Klopp looked like frustrated last night, man. He looked very frustrated. Of course he's frustrated because he knows their limitations, this midfield. They're simply not good enough to play for Liverpool. And yet he's still putting them into the team. So I don't understand what's going on. It's a friendly match, yes, but this shows me what is going to happen in the season. This is like evidence, proof of what's going to happen in the season with these weak players in the team. And then he's bringing on Curtis Jones as a midfielder, Ryan Kent. What did they do when they came on? Nothing, man. Supposed young quality talent players. What did they contribute to the game in the second half? Nothing. They didn't have any shots. They didn't have any crosses. They didn't make any surging runs, did they, from the midfield? You know, Ryan Brewster was brought on along with Harry Wilson, but they weren't able to do anything because there's no one to feed them. So give them the ball so that they can cause trouble in the penalty area or outside the penalty area. Football is a team game. It needs to have all the components working in tandem at the same time. Otherwise, you're not able to do anything, even against the weak teams. You're going to struggle. This is a team that has become European champions. We're at a certain level of football now, a certain expectation of winning trophies, being successful, is expected from Liverpool now. And yeah, next year we're going to be lucky if we're in the top four. The way that we're playing, the way that we're performing at the moment, and the fact that they will have to come back tired, some of the players, without having a proper rest. The likes of Mane and Keita's still injured, or Alisson, Firmino, even Salah. Salah got knocked out early, but he's still going to be tired. They had to play so many games around last year, these players, because we rely on them too much in the Premier League. Klopp is not able. It's not like Man City, where you can leave Aguero out and then you put Jesus in, or you can leave Bernardo Silva out and you put in Leroy Sané. They've got that luxury. We don't have that though. Or they can take Sterling out and put in Riyad Mahrez. They've got depth. And if it carries on like that, then they're just going to walk away with it again, the Premier League title. So next year it's going to be 30 years and waiting. 30 years and waiting for the title. Since 1990, man. Anyway, that's about it, Liverpool fans. I don't want to be too negative early in the season, but we have to wake up, Liverpool. We have to wake up and take the required steps, otherwise take the required actions. Otherwise it's going to be disappointing season next year. And we're not going to win anything, We may win a few trophies now at the start of the season, like the Charity Shield and the European Super Cup. I want to win the Premier League, man. This is the bread and butter of English football. We need to win the Premier League. A team like Liverpool has to win the league championship, the league title. We haven't won it for 30 years, man. What else do we need to say as Liverpool fans? This is our main priority. I don't even care about the Champions League next year. We've won it this year. I'm not too bothered if we win it next year. I want us to win the Premier League title. And we need to do everything in our power. We need to buy the required players and just go out there and do it. Finish it off. But with Klopp, he just seems like he's so laid back and he's so comfortable in the job. He doesn't care, man. Some of the impressions that he gives me, he really doesn't care anymore, you know? Or there's some fallout with the owners. There must be something going on in the background, because yesterday, before the match, during the match, he seemed very agitated. He seemed very frustrated, Klopp. It's probably with the squad that he's got, the players that he's got at his disposal in America, you know? I feel sorry for the fans that had to go and watch the games. They were expecting to see some, swashbuckling football, some brilliant football, fast-flowing football, but they saw nothing. They saw nothing, man. It's a waste of money, a waste of a day, really, for the fans. Well, they only get to see the team, once in so many years, so probably they enjoyed it, the American fans, but still, I mean, for us, we had to wake up, we had to stay up to watch the match from 1 until 3 o'clock in the morning to see what? To see Mignolet fucking flapping and conceding a goal again. Yeah? The second goal, what's his name? Trent Alexander-Arnold got caught out again. And then Fernandes done him in the area, got the ball past him and got a pass to his teammate and he puts it in. Trent Alexander-Arnold is out of position again, defensively. He keeps making the same mistakes every year, man. Trent Alexander. His first job is to be a defender. You need to keep out the opposition. There's no point in going forward and getting crosses into the area if you're not, you're not watching the back. You're not seeing what's going on behind you in the defence. That's your first job, your main job, is to keep the opposition out. Stop them from creating chances, scoring goals. But you keep making mistakes every game, man. Trent. When you play good teams, decent teams, you make mistakes. So it's all on Jurgen's shoulders anyway, Jurgen Klopp's shoulders. And if he doesn't feel that he needs to expand the squad to make it better, to buy better players, then when we start losing games or we start drawing games, then that's when the pressure is going to be on him. That's when the fan base is going to say to him, you had the chance during the summer, but you done nothing. You stood still. And you kept making all these bloody excuses again, that we're not able to spend money and this and that, which is all bullshit if you ask me. They have money. Liverpool are in the top 10 richest teams in the world. Forbes' list of top 10 teams. Liverpool are 7th, I think, with a net value of something like £2 billion at the moment, near to £2 billion. So how come we don't have money then? Where is the money going? The money that the club is making, the profit that they're making. Where are they spending the money? Because they're not spending it on bloody players, which they need to. That's your main priority first, to make the squad better, to build a better team, a better squad, not the bloody stadium. I don't care about the stadium, man. Stadium is not important. There are teams that play in small stadiums, but they're winning trophies. Stadium doesn't mean anything. You've got fans everywhere. Anyway, Liverpool Football Club. Doesn't matter if it's, you've got 50,000 or 80,000. It doesn't matter really in the wider context. It's all about what you do on the pitch, what success you have, what trophies you win. For me, anyway, as a Liverpool fan, that's what I look at. I don't look at the bloody stadium, man. Anfield is Liverpool's traditional home, traditional stadium. I don't want them to leave Anfield, man. Just to, go to a bigger stadium. For me, the day that Liverpool leaves Anfield will be a very sad day if they do leave Anfield. It will be a very bad day for Liverpool Football Club. Because the atmosphere, the traditions of that stadium, that ground, you can't get anywhere else in the country, man. You will never be able to replicate that, Anfield. Never. No matter what stadium you build. So you need to stay there, man. But the main job is to make this team better from what it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. To keep on improving, to keep on progressing, becoming a better team, a stronger team. And to do that, you need to buy good players. You need to add quality players to the team, to the squad. But every year we hear excuses. Oh, but that team went in with a bigger bid for the player, so they got the player. We weren't willing to pay the money. Why are you not willing to pay the money? Why? Tell me why. You've got the bloody money, so why don't you spend it then, FSG? Or are you just there to make a fucking profit off Liverpool and then to sell the club and then to move on? It seems to me that's what they're here for, FSG, because what they've done over 7, 8 years is just proof of their intentions for Liverpool Football Club. You know, you can't trick the fans anymore, FSG. You did it for a couple of years. You tried to put people to sleep with your policies and your mind games, your PR and your propaganda on the media, on the Facebook, on social media, and all the other things. The Liverpool Echo, the newspapers, articles, trying to write stories how good owners they are, how very intelligent they are, how much of a business people they are. So what, man? We don't care who they are. They could be from fucking space. As long as they make Liverpool better, they make us more successful on the pitch. That's all that matters at the end of the day. It doesn't matter who the owners are, Liverpool Football Club, Now I'm starting to regret that we didn't get Arab owners, sheikhs, with money to spend. They would have made Liverpool the best team in the world. The money that goes into Man City, if that had been put on Liverpool, spent on Liverpool, we would have been the best team in the world. We would have been winning everything, every season. That's what I want to see as a Liverpool fan, because that's what we got used to in the 70s, the 80s, the early 90s, until the early 90s. We got used to winning trophies, to being the best in the land. And this is what frustrates Liverpool fans most, that we have one good season in probably 5 or 10 years, and we're not able to continue. We're not able to, consistently be successful. It's going to be forgotten about next year, the European Cup. If we don't have a good season, who's going to remember that you won in Madrid? We were still talking about bloody Istanbul from 2005 until we won this one last year, Madrid. But it's all memories. It's all history at the end of the day. You need to do it consistently. You need to be winning trophies every year, every 2 years, at least, to call yourself a big club, an elite club. This is what you need to do. So for all those fans that think that we're doing well, we're progressing, then I'm sorry, but you live in a different planet, mate. You don't understand Liverpool Football Club, really, what we did in the past. And this is nothing, what we're doing now. This is nowhere near the level that we should be at, Anyway, that's about it, Liverpool fans. Sorry to give you a headache again, but it's very frustrating. People actually stayed up last night to watch the game at 1 o'clock in the morning to see what, man? To see fucking Mignolet conceding that goal. The second goal was, terrible as well. We could have defended that, but they didn't defend it properly. They were so lackluster. They were so lazy in defence that we gave away so many chances. Though it's not only the 2 goals that Sporting Lisbon scored; they could have had it more. I remember it at the end of the first half. They had that chance from the corner where Mignolet pulled off 2 outstanding saves, but he conceded the first goal. So for me, you still can't trust him. A goalkeeper needs to be on his game from the first minute to the 90th minute. There's no point in making a mistake and then you're trying to make saves to say that you're a good goalkeeper. It doesn't make any sense. If you believe in your ability as a goalkeeper, you need to play well for the 90 minutes. Not only, at certain stages in the game, you need to be awake. You need to be concentrated in a goalkeeper position. And for me, Mignolet just doesn't do that. Nor does Karius. So, yeah, as I said in my previous video, Liverpool fans, I think that there's big problems at Liverpool this year. And we seem to be picking up injuries again all the time. As usual, Klein is out now. He was the replacement right back in the team. He's not going to be able to play. He's out for 6 months now with that ACL injury again. Lallana just came back from injury last night, but he doesn't look anywhere near good enough to play in the team. He's lost it. He's not fast enough anymore. He's not, good enough. The passes are not good enough. The runs, the movement on the pitch is not good enough from Lallana. Oxlade-Chamberlain doesn't look right as well. and he keeps giving the ball away in the midfield area. He set up the second goal, but it was a mistake really from the Sporting Lisbon defender, our former player Thiago Ilori, who missed the ball. He didn't clear it, and that's why it got to Wijnaldum, who nearly missed the chance. You know, he's supposed to take that first time, but he tries to control the ball and then put it away, and the keeper nearly saves it. So, you know, if we're asking these players to win us games next year to bail us out, then we're in big trouble, Liverpool fans. I'm telling you, we need to wake up and see what's happening, and then yeah. So by next May, if Klopp doesn't do these things, he doesn't add to his team, and he relies on this squad of players, then it's going to go downhill. Unfortunately, I can't. I don't want to be positive for no reason, you know. Positivity only comes from what you do on the pitch. Positivity only comes from the quality that you have. If you see that the players are playing well, then you can be positive. If you don't see anything on the pitch that gives you any confidence for the season, then how can you have positivity? What, are we just going to have blind faith because we won the European Cup? So what? It's gone now, man. You're at the beginning of a new season. In 2 weeks' time, we play Norwich at Anfield in the first league match of the Premier League season. We need to be ready for that match. And all the other teams have bought their players, most of them, and they're training with their squads, with their teams, trying to acclimatise, trying to get, you know, up to scratch with their new teams. What are we going to do? We're going to make a last-minute signings again, and then try and integrate them into the team. And then Klopp's going to come out and say, "Oh, we need 3 or 4 months to get them ready for the team," like what he did with Fabinho and Keita last season. And it's all bullshit for me, really. It's all bullshit. It's all excuses again. Every season he keeps talking about the schedule, Klopp. You've been here for fucking 4 years, man. From 2015 you've been here. Are you not used to the system in England now? Stop complaining about the schedule, the fixtures, and actually buy players to make your squad better. Stop telling us all these stories that you're going to develop, progress the players that you have, and then you never actually play them in the team, the young players. Why do you not play them in the first 11? Because you don't trust them, do you? You don't trust them to play in the big games. You can't take that risk. I know that it's a manager, you know, a manager's job is very hard, but he knows he's clever. He knows that he can't play them in the first team, because if they make a mistake, then the spotlight is going to be on Klopp, on the manager, for playing them in the first team. He doesn't do it. He's not going to play them again. You know, there's no point in, you know, taking liberties and, you know, lying to the fans. You're not going to play them, man. It's so obvious to see. None of these players that you saw in pre-season, the young players, most of them won't even get into the team, into the squad. You won't see them again. They'll probably be sent out on loan or kept in the under-23 team again. So, yeah, we're going to see. Anyway, Liverpool fans, nice to speak to you again. Hopefully, the next 2 weeks we buy the required players. Otherwise, I can't see us being successful next year, really. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do anything, whether it be in the Champions League. But you can never write Liverpool off in the Champions League. But the Premier League is a marathon of 38 games, and you need to be prepared. You need to be organised. You need to have a good squad to cope with the games, the 38-game season. And it seems to me that we're not going to be able to keep up with Man City. I wouldn't be surprised if Tottenham overtake us as well. We beat Tottenham in the Champions League final to win the European Cup, but they seem to have more ambition than us this season. Maybe that defeat hurt them so badly that they actually feel that they need to become better, and they're doing it. They're trying to become better by buying the required players, and we're still a team that has won the European Cup. Instead of having ambitions, expectations of being the best in the country, in Europe, we're just happy to prod along again. And this shows a lack of ambition from the owners, a lack of ambition from the manager, you know. So it's all on their shoulders. If they don't, you know, meet the required level, get the required success this season, then the fan base is going to be on your back again, and you can't say shit. You can't come out and make excuses anymore, Klopp or FSG. You had the chance, you had the opportunity to do it in the summer, and you didn't do anything. And you kept making excuses for the owners, Klopp. So that's it, Liverpool fans. Subscribe, like and subscribe to the channel. Make your comments in the comment section below. It's going to be very much appreciated. It's only a friendly you're going to say to me. Don't get worked up. But this is what shows me what's going to happen in the season, these friendly matches. Because last season we had a great pre-season. And look what happened in the league. We nearly won the title. We won the European Cup. It's no coincidence, because if you've prepared properly for the season, then it filters down into the Premier League season, and you become successful again. For me, this is how it works. Football. It's not rocket science. It's a game of football. All you need to do is make the required steps, take the required actions, and you become successful. But if we're not able to see this as a club, then what's the point anymore, man? What's the point in actually expecting anything from Liverpool anymore? Let's just get used to being a top 4 team. That's it. That's all that's going to happen from now on anyway. As soon as we lose 2 of our front players, Mane, Salah, Firmino, 3 of them, then we're nothing. We're an average team, you know. We're going to be struggling to get into the top 4 of the league without these players. Anything can happen in the season. Injuries, suspensions, fatigue, you know. And after a while, if they see that they're not winning trophies and they're getting bids from other clubs in Europe, they're going to leave, the main players. They're not going to be, you know, there's some deluded, imbecile fans that think that they're still going to be here in 3 years' time. Or Klopp's going to be here for 5 years. I don't want him to be here. If this is the way he's going to manage Liverpool, then there's no point, really. I'd prefer a better manager, a manager that has ambition, that wants to buy players to make Liverpool better. So Gerrard needs to be getting ready now to become the manager of Liverpool Football Club next season or the season after that. Depends on what Klopp does, of course. If he brings success, then so be it. He carries on. But the way that he's started pre-season, I don't think that it's going to happen this season for Liverpool. Unfortunately, I don't see it happening. I'm talking from experience as a Liverpool fan. I've seen these things happen in the past many times. These kind of scenarios, these situations. So don't be telling me that you're talking out of your arse and you're being pessimistic, negative. We've seen it, man. The clever Liverpool fans, the experienced Liverpool fans have seen these things happen over many years because of just lack of organisation, lack of planning for the season, and not buying the required players. And then what happens inevitably? You get a couple of injuries, you get a couple of suspensions to your main players, and the season is gone. You're finished. You're nowhere near the top teams, and you start to fall out of the top 4, you know, altogether. Which is what happened in the Rodgers era, because he didn't have a good enough team, a squad of players to win him the games he needed to get into the top 4. Anyway, that's it, Liverpool fans. Hopefully they change something, and we become better. You know, hopefully we have to wait and see. And next up is the match against Napoli. A friendly in Scotland against Napoli, and then I think we play Lyon in Switzerland, and then we go straight into the Community Shield against Man City at Wembley, and I'm dreading that match. I'm starting to dread that match now because I don't see Liverpool winning that game unless there's some miracle, and I don't want us to get a heavy defeat by Man City, because losing that game and then going into the season is going to affect us psychologically. It's going to put us back. And so that's it, Liverpool fans. We wait and see what happens anyway. Nice to see you all again, to talk to you all again, and take care of yourselves. Have a good day. Bye-bye.